Hi, I'm here with Gavin Michael Booth, who has worked with Third Eye Blind, Vanessa Carlton, and more recently, the local band I Know Karate. So Gavin, I was wondering, what projects have you shot in Windsor?
In Windsor? Wow, pretty much everything I can. We've done 4 feature films here. We've done at least a dozen music videos, including some that are kind of exciting. We brought the band The Afters, have come here on 4 separate occasions to shoot music videos. They're based out of Dallas, Texas, but they're big MTV stars and have a lot of music placement in popular shows like Grey's Anatomy. So part of our philosophy with my company is to try to bring as much popular entertainment to Windsor and sort of give local actors and local crew a chance to work on projects that will be spotlighted far outside of Windsor's borders.
What do you think is the current state of filming in Windsor?
It's interesting. When we started this about 7 or 8 years ago, there were kind of only a couple films done before we made our first production. That was our inspiration. I saw 2 other filmmakers that did it here, and I suddenly said, I'm not going to Vancouver to go to film school. I'm not going to Toronto. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to raise a bit of money and make the film. And that was 2003, 2004. And since then, so in the last 6 or 7 years, there have been at least, I can't even keep track anymore, 15, 16 feature films shot here. There's several web series. There's at least 30, 40 music videos that have happened. So it's growing rapidly. And then you have programs like St. Clair and that has this beautiful studio now and gives students an opportunity to really get hands-on learning. I think there's a real chance that more and more production could stay here rather than the talented people moving outside of the city.
And where did you go for school?
I graduated General Amherst High School, and that's it. I've been working for myself in the field ever since.
So where would you say is the hot spot for filmmaking in Canada?
It's always Toronto and Vancouver. Those are the 2 big production hubs, but more and more Montreal is getting quite a bit. Calgary does quite a bit, especially for westerns or anything that has to be set in the scenic outback. There is a film studio that's being built in Windsor right now, which they're trying to capitalize on what's happening in Detroit, Michigan right now, which is huge tax rebates and film studios going up. So there's a chance that Windsor could become a small percentage of the overall production in Canada.
Do you know where they're building that?
It's at Manning and 401. It's I always forget the name, Nasty Studios. I can't remember the exact letters, but Jim Shaban, who's a friend of mine, he's building it out there. It's been his dream for a long, long time, and it's finally coming into fruition.
Do you know how long it's been in production, or?
They've been, I've known of it for about 5 years, and I'm not sure how long. I know it's been in the works for a long time after. It's like anything, to get something brand new started in the city, in the area, it takes a lot of time, a lot of planning to make sure that once it's ready to go, it's executed correctly. And the other side of having a studio is you have to be able to ensure the work is going to be there. So you need to be able to be lobbying with cities like Los Angeles and New York to bring their film production to Windsor, which can't be an easy game of trying to convince people to move. Come to Windsor where there is no film. So it's going to take a couple people to be the first to sort of anchor it in, and then it could become a popular choice for others.
Now, I know you started off with internet websiting, right? Like social networking?
Yeah, it's been a huge part of what's sort of launched me to this stage.
So how does the internet influence your line of work?
I think internet for filmmaking is huge. The invention of YouTube sort of changed the entire game, because now anybody can make a film, a short film, a music video, a web series, and post it and have instant response and instant audience from over now 1 billion YouTube users. So before that didn't exist, you had to send your work to film festivals, you had to get people together with a DVD or back in the day a VHS copy and show it at houses, and try to set up your own screenings, which are still popular choices and should be done. But the idea of this whole social networking thing now, if I make a music video and you were to see it and you like it, you hit like on Facebook, it's suddenly on your page. It spreads so much faster. It's amazing sometimes how these videos catch on, and it's good for the filmmaker. They get instant feedback, so they're going to be more charged to go out and do another production, so it's very motivating. And we're seeing more and more things over the internet, like Netflix, where movies are delivered straight to your home. And it's a great opportunity to meet other filmmakers and actors. I can't tell you how many times Facebook and MySpace and Twitter have brought actors or crew people into my life that are working on my current projects, and I'll probably work with more and more. But just week by week, there's at least one email a week that comes in from somebody who saw me on Facebook or YouTube that wants to know about getting involved in a production or seeking advice to start their own career. And it's just And not to mention, I mean, I use YouTube also. There's a million training things on YouTube. So every time I need to learn a new editing trick that I don't know, or how to work a certain lens that I've just bought that I haven't worked with before, someone has at least 2 training videos up for how to use that they've made. So it's the age of, if you want to do something, it's so much easier to get out there and be a filmmaker, because you could basically learn it all on YouTube. And again, you've got your education, you've got your networking to put your cast and crew together, and then you also have your distribution to reach an audience.
So, are you currently working on any projects in Windsor with
Yeah, we have an upcoming film we're doing auditions for right now. The movie's called Cheer for Your Life from the Diary of Lori Lang, which is kind of a throwback to 80s horror comedies about a cheerleader named Lori Lang, who, this is the first of 3 films, and she's always finding herself in a series of misadventures. So on the day of their homecoming, aliens invade her high school, because thousands of years ago they buried a war device under the building, or where the building was eventually built, so they've come to claim it, and she will stop at nothing to become homecoming queen. So she inadvertently, by saving herself and her homecoming title, ends up saving the world against these invading forces. So we're doing that in Windsor, and what's kind of exciting about that is we have a producer on the film named Rob Merrilees out of Vancouver, Foundation Features. Rob is behind such mega hits as Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds, Capote that won an Oscar. He worked on Heath Ledger's final film, Imaginarium with Dr. Parnassus. And it's sort of the largest budget picture that we've ever done. We already have theatrical distribution lined up, so it's going to play in theaters across Canada and other markets around the globe when it's completed. But they were very gracious in letting me keep it in Windsor and explain to them how important it is to work with the people that have, sort of slaved away on all my projects that didn't have a budget behind it, and just trying to encourage them to embrace the talent that we have here.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And we've just spent 5 minutes with Gavin Michael Booth.